Hello there, Libra. Thank you so much for stopping by for your tarot video forecast for the week of May the 9th through the 15th. On Monday, what you have coming up is the Four of Swords card. Now, the Four of Swords cards can come up a couple of different ways, and I feel like there will be different ways that comes up for you. Four of Swords primarily comes up as forced downtime. So when it comes to work, this could be some kind of time off that maybe you weren't planning on. I've seen this manifest when people got a broken arm or a broken finger and then they couldn't do everything that they would normally do on the job or at home. So forced downtime is just a situation where you're not able to do everything that you would normally do. Now, the other way that this can manifest too is taking a step back from a relationship. If we're looking at love, this would be stepping back from a relationship, taking some time away from that, not doing all the normal things we would do together as a couple. And so either way, what this gives you is a chance to think about things that you normally wouldn't consider because you would be too busy to have the time to think about them. And it helps you to get a better perspective on whatever's going on, whether it's your life in general or whether it's about the relationship specifically. It helps you come out of this with a better perspective, a more clarity about what you actually want, what direction you actually want to go, and all of this type of thing. So even though a forced downtime or a timeout in a relationship can seem like a bad thing, it generally leads to that higher amount of clarity, which helps us to propel ourselves into something that is better. Wow. Okay, just looking at the spread, and if this is all about relationships for you Libras, I'm just going to be like holding my head. My first father-in-law used to do this. He used to, if something was going on and it was too chaotic for him and he didn't want to deal with it, he would do this. "You're giving me a headache," he would say. And that's kind of what I feel like now that I'm looking at your cards. I hadn't really looked at them before I started talking, and now I'm looking at the spread going, "You're giving me a headache." Okay, so second card that we have coming up on Tuesday, we have the Eight of Cups. For those of you who know tarot, you know what this means. This is a breakup. This is walking away. This is saying, you know what? This relationship is totally depleting me and I'm not getting anything out of it, and it's time for me to cut my losses and leave. This is looking for something better is what this is, okay? Now, this doesn't really have to be in a relationship, although that's usually where I see it show up, but I've also seen it show up in employment situations too, where somebody just is not being paid enough and where management is just putting so much pressure on them to do this, do this, do this. Now you're doing the work of 3 people, but you haven't got a raise. And at some point, the poor employee finally says, you know what? That's enough. You find somebody that can replace me and do everything that I do. I gotta go. So it could be coming up in an employment situation, could be coming up in a relationship situation, doesn't have to be a romantic relationship either. This could be about a friendship that has been toxic that you're walking away from as well. All right. And by the way, this can also be if the other person leaves too. This doesn't have to be you leaving. This could be the other person leaving and giving you a chance to look for something that is better as well. Okay, so let's move on to Wednesday. Wednesday we have the Four of Clubs in reverse, and this is where I'm getting the headache really. Four of Clubs in reverse and the Eight of Cups, when you combine them, this is like double whammy. This is basically the same message almost 2 days in a row. Like, what is going on with you poor Libras? So first of all, we've got what's probably a breakup for most of you, and then we've got somebody leaving. So this could be as little as somebody going away on vacation. If this is like your best friend and you're just going through a breakup, this is like the worst timing you could imagine. I just realized I'm so not positive about these cards. Okay, so what is a positive spin on this? I've got a headache. Okay, so but this is somebody leaving the nest. This is somebody going out of the neighborhood. So this could be you moving out of your home. This could be somebody else moving out of your home. This could be someone moving out of mom and dad's place. This can be somebody going away on a military tour, somebody going away on vacation. This can also be a temporary split in a relationship. So we've got some interesting stuff. If we've got the Eight of Cups first, which is like a breakup, and if this is relationship, for some of you it won't be. It'll just be about employment or something. So we've got the walk away, the Eight of Cups, and then we've got the temporary split up, like the next day. Either what's happening is somebody is walking away, and then the next day it's like, you know what, let's just make this temporary, let's not make this permanent. Or you guys have one person that's walking away, or you're walking away from them, and then the very next day there's somebody who is leaving temporarily too. Like bam, bam. Okay, so let's look at your fourth card, Thursday. Okay, Thursday you have the Death card in reverse. And I feel like this may be what's going on with this whole taking a break, relationship break, and then somebody leaving temporarily. Death card in reverse talks about transition, talks about change at a core value, deep belief level. These are beliefs that you've had ever since you were a kid, and you picked them up from mom and dad, and you were just too little to know better. Okay, so an example of this. Let's say that you're out with your dad walking through a field out to a pond so you can go fishing, and your dad sees a snake. And instead of your dad picking you up and taking you and removing you from the situation, your dad takes off at a dead run. You don't even know what's going on. Later on, you find out it was a snake, but you saw the terror on your dad. Okay? So what do you learn as a little one when you see that? You learn that, wow, if dad, who is the biggest, strongest man in my life, is terrified of snakes, snakes must be pretty darn terrifying. Okay, so that's a core value. That's a belief that we pick up when we're too young to know better. Okay, that's just an example of one. But we pick up all kinds of beliefs just watching how our parents interact with the world, with each other, with other people, how they handle situations at work, all of this stuff. We pick up stuff just like sponges as far as core values in those ages. And so this change has to do with some of those values that we're starting to realize the way I've been handling this thing doesn't really serve me. It's not productive. And you're starting to realize that maybe just because mom and dad did it or a teacher did it, maybe that doesn't make it the best possible way to handle things. But this card is in reverse, so that just means that you're recognizing that there's some change that needs to come in. You're seeing it start to come in, but you're blocking it. You're holding back on it. You're trying to keep it from rolling in. Sorry guys, this is a major arcana card. This change is rolling in. You can resist it as long as you want to. You have free will. But this change eventually is coming in. So here's the deal. You can welcome this change in and integrate it into your life and shorten that awkward time when you don't know what's coming next or what'll happen if this change comes through. Or you can resist it as long as you want and be totally uncomfortable in limbo, not knowing where you're going to end up as far as perspective and thought processes about life around you and the people around you and your job and your hobbies and everything else. Totally up to you. The energy right now is saying you'll resist. I really feel like your resistance to change is part of what's causing all of this breakdown with the relationships that we saw earlier in the week. So it's time to start letting that change roll in. You have free will. You can allow that to roll in. So let's move on. Friday. 5 of Swords showing up. 5 of Swords just means conflict or combat. This can be inner conflict, and I feel like for a lot of you, we are talking about inner conflict. This is all about that change that you feel rolling in that you're resisting. For a lot of you. For some of you, this is conflict that's outside, conflict with other people. For a lot of you, this is conflict with the person that you left the nest from, that you have that temporary split from, that maybe they went away on vacation or the TDY. But for a lot of you, this is a relationship that you're having a temporary split with, someone you're having a temporary split with. I feel like there's still conflict going on there. I don't feel like for most of you there's conflict with the relationship that you've walked flat out away from, or they've walked flat out away from you. But for some of you, for the minority of you, about 20%, there's going to be conflict going on with that person. That kind of defeats the point of cutting your losses and walking away. But for some of you, that's going to be there. All right, and then we've got on Saturday the Hierophant in reverse. The Hierophant in reverse is just saying that, you know what, I'm just going to call this a relationship spread, because it's just, it has too many overtones of relationship. So the Hierophant in reverse for a relationship spread, this just means that whatever is going on here, whatever relationships that we are looking at here, if there were plans to get married before or plans to join together permanently in some way before, you can pretty much throw those out the window. Those plans are gone now. So, and it's so interesting because wait till you see the next card that comes up. I've got a headache, remember? So the Hierophant in reverse is like whatever you had planned, gone. Just gone, just washed away. Whatever you were thinking about, if you were just thinking about getting married, if you were thinking about proposing to somebody, you're not thinking about it anymore. You're thinking, oh my God, thank goodness I didn't. Or you guys are backing out of it. Now, here's the interesting part. After all of this total caca all week long, you guys finally have a good card coming up on Sunday. You have the Two of Cups. And the Two of Cups talks about attraction. Talks about enjoying the company of somebody else. Isn't that crazy? You've had a whole week of fighting and breakups and walkaways, resisting change, and now we finally have a good card for emotions. Like, thank God. So what is Friday? Friday's the 13th. Well, it looks like Friday the 13th is your lucky day. So I do want to do a little bit of clarification on this Two of Cups. I normally don't do clarification, but this is just too interesting not to. I'm going to be nosy. Okay, so let me check one more thing here, and then I'll start talking a little bit more about this. Okay, so here's the thing. This Two of Cups that comes up has nothing to do with the breakup card, whoever you broke up with or broke up with you. That's not this guy or girl. Okay, whoever the temporary split was, that's not this guy or girl. Whoever the Hierophant in reverse was, the we're not getting married now, that's not this guy or this girl. So this is a new attraction to somebody. This could be a new friend. For some of you, it will just be a new friend. For others of you, this is going to be somebody new coming into your life already that quickly. And I know that this is a good card, but with all this other stuff going on earlier in the week, I'm going to say to you, please be careful. Usually you don't want to move on that fast. You want to give yourself some time to heal. So if you have a new lover showing up that early on Sunday, please be careful. That's all I'm going to say. Okay, so that is your week, Libras. I hope you don't stone me about the messages that came up, but it's just what it is. I do appreciate all of you stopping by, hanging out, liking, sharing, subscribing, and commenting. And I just appreciate all of your support. Everyone have a fantastic week. You know, the week is not just all about the things that came up. There's other stuff happening this week too. And I'll see you back here the next time. Peace out.